Hey, what's up guys? Drew Manchu coming back at you with another face-to-face video. This week I got a real nice stack of books right here. I can't wait to get into them. It's been a long weekend and I'm Adventure Time number 24. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Adventure Time number 64. Now I haven't had a chance to crack this open and read it yet, but this title never lets me down. Big fan of the show and a big fan of the comic as well. Has the same comedic sensibilities and the same crazy world of characters. So if you like the show, check out the book. I think it's worth your time. The Amory Wars, Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, number 2. The longest title and the longest wait for a disappointing comic. I did not enjoy issue number 1, even though I am a fan of the previous work that Claudio has done on this story, and even though I'm a fan of all of Coheed and Cambria's music and their albums. I love the concept of this story, but this comic lets me down in the art department, definitely. It's not very pretty to look at, in my opinion, and the story kind of starts off in a really weird place. Now, the fact that we're going to get an explanation as to what's going on in the next issue, there's a tease at the end of the story, means I'm going to stick with it for just a little bit longer. I have a feeling this is just going to be a mini-series, and I like to have it as part of my Coheed and Cambria collection, not as much as part of my comic book collection. Paper Girls, number 14. This story is amazing. If you guys like Stranger Things, check this out. If you guys like 80s movies, check this out. Paper Girls is absolutely beautiful, drawn by Cliff Chang, written by Brian K. Vaughan. I can't say enough good things about this book. Go out and check it out. Now, Skybound and Image brought us 2 fantastic issues this week with The Walking Dead number 167 and the newest issue of Outcast. Walking Dead number 167 is the death of Andrea. I know, if you're watching the show, she's been dead for quite some time. But if you're reading the comic books, Andrea has been a long-time survivor, is in a relationship with Rick, and is one of the main characters. Carl now sees her as his mother, and she is tied intrinsically to this group of survivors. This issue is absolutely heart-wrenching and depressing, and really, really hurts to read. Andrea was a fantastic character for so long, and the fact that Kirkman has taken her out now, it feels wrong. And you know what? That's the brilliance of it. The fact that it feels wrong and it actually is upsetting to the reader. It really works within the confines of this story. Kirkman himself seems to regret the decision and says so much in his letter at the very end. There's no letters section in this book, but there is a section where he says his piece about his decision to kill Andrea. This is going to be a key issue if you're looking at the whole run, so I would say go ahead and pick it up. I don't think it's going to jump like a 100 or anything like that, but this is definitely an issue you want to have in your Walking Dead collection. Pick this one up. Outcast, issue number 27. Now, I'm not sure if this one will end up being a key issue or not, but I think, in my mind, this is very key as far as story is concerned, because this is the issue where everything is explained. Moving forward, this book is going to be different. Kyle trying to figure out what the fuck is going on has been pretty much the meaning of Outcast thus far. So I really enjoy the fact that this book is going to change in tone, I feel, moving forward. I'm excited to see what they do, and I think this is going to be a key issue, so pick it up. Grab some DC books. Deathstroke, number 18. I've grown really tired of Christopher Priest's Deathstroke, and it kind of bores me. But this leads into the Lazarus contract, which we're going to get into, which is a Teen Titans Deathstroke crossover. So I'm reading both Teen Titans, and Deathstroke, and all 3 titles are kind of on the chopping block depending on what happens in that crossover. If you're a Deathstroke fan, this book will probably do it for you, but it's just not exciting to me. And I've been told that it reads a lot better in trade, and maybe I can go back and read it in chunks, but I did read a big bunch of it in a chunk, and it was okay, and it moved pretty quickly, but it just wasn't what I was looking for in a read. So I'm probably going to end up dropping Deathstroke after the crossover. Justice League number 20. This is Brian Hitch writing and drawing, and it's a comic book. It's really nothing to write home about. Your typical classic Justice League story. Just, yeah, I'm picking it up. Picked up Nightwing number 20. The art is on point and the story is great. We get the final showdown between Nightwing and Deathwing. We get some great Damian Wayne interaction in there, and the final splash page of this issue is just absolutely awesome to me. I really enjoyed this story. I liked the energy that Damian injected into this arc. I like Sean. I think she's a great character, and I think I'm going to be enjoying this moving forward. A little sad that Damian's probably not going to be in the next arc, but I'll get over it. Batman number 22, The Button, Part 3. Okay, so here's the deal with The Button. We pay for these lenticular covers, right? We're expecting to get something tied to the Watchmen. We're seeing the Button, right? We're expecting something revolutionary within the DC Rebirth overarching story for the entire line, right? That's what we should be getting for the way this has been advertised. And that is not what we're getting at all. We're going back and we're erasing Flashpoint. That's fine. That's what happened. They erased Flashpoint. Cool. But what does that mean? What are we getting out of that? Is there going to be any expansion on that now, or is this all just setup? This has been billed as payoff, and it's just more setup. And for me, that is disappointing. Is story-wise, the art is good. Art's top-notch. Really enjoy that. The interactions and the characters, the dialogue, a little bit wordy, with no explanations. And that, for me, is like, that's okay. That's fine. The Flashpoint Batman thing, this cover is sick. I love the costume of Flashpoint Batman. But they erased him at this point? Is that what happened? That's what it seemed to be to me. So, Flashpoint doesn't exist anymore, which means it didn't happen, which means there's some other explanation for the things that are held over from the New 52. I think that a lot of that's going to be explained away, but I don't understand why certain pieces are being taken off the board. None of this is really making any more sense as far as Rebirth is concerned to me, and I think that is disappointing. I don't know. Button for me, big letdown. The issues are cool. I can't deny that. I really like the art, and page by page, it's a cool issue. But for what this was promised to be, this is nothing. And I don't know. Maybe it's my expectations that are ruining the Button, but I wanted more out of it. Pick it up for the cover alone, but the story for me is not quite where I want it to be. Superman 22 is the next installment in the Black Dawn story arc. Batman and the Super Sons have been abducted, Superman is on their trail, but it's up to Lois Lane to find out what's going on. Lois discovers that the entire town seems to be monitoring them. Lois discovers that the entire town seems to be monitoring the Kent family. But in the process, she's discovered, and she needs to escape. She runs home, tries to contact the Justice League, but the townsfolk beat her home and find the communicator first. Luckily, she still has one of the gauntlets from the Bat armor, and the Batmobile responds to the glove. There's some great action in this book, even though it's a Lois Lane story, and she uses the Batmobile to completely mess up everybody in the area, and it's awesome. The end of the issue sees Superman exploring a network of tunnels that seem to cover the entire town. He finds Batman and Robin in some sort of weird alien pods. But where's John? John is still missing. What's going on? We're going to have to find out in the next issue. I'm super psyched about this. The art is fantastic. Lois kicks ass. And we find out that this little hamlet that they've made home is way creepier than we could have ever imagined. Really good stuff. Superman number 22. On to my Marvel pickups. I grabbed Spider-Man number 16. Now, this is a really great book. I really enjoy Brian Michael Bendis' take on Miles Morales. It's a character he created, and he really seems to care about it. And that seems to be the way Bendis is. We get some great action in this book, some fantastic art. We also get some character development with Spider-Man's supporting cast of friends. And I'm really enjoying that. And this little world, this little corner of the Marvel Universe that Bendis is working in is being really well fleshed out. And I do enjoy that as well. Spider-Gwen number 19. Spider-Gwen is an amazing character and a really, really interesting take on the Spider-Man mythos. And her universe is really fun to explore. But this book has been up and down. When it's tied into the 616 universe, the Marvel Universe proper, whatever they're calling it these days, if it's tied into that, the all-new, all-different Marvel, then it suffers a bit. Kind of becomes a gimmick. But when it focuses on its own universe, this title is amazing. And that's what it's doing right now. Gwen has made a deal with the Kingpin to try to clear her father's good name. Only thing is, in this universe, the Kingpin is Matt Murdock. And Matt Murdock in this universe is a total a-hole. The next issue promises to show us the Wolverine of this universe, and I can't wait to see that. So I'm definitely going to keep on reading Spider-Gwen, and I think that you should give it a shot. I would avoid the crossovers, but check out the arcs where they are self-contained in her universe. Nova number 6. Now, this book's been canceled and is going away really soon. I think it's going to go away after this arc has finished up, and then it's maybe one more issue, maybe 2 more issues. But I've really been enjoying this. This is the story that everybody's been asking for, which is the return of Richard Rider. It's a little bit out there. Rider seems to be being made out to be a bad guy. He's being taken over by the Cancerverse, and it's kind of cool stuff. And the next issue promises Nova versus Nova, so we're going to get a showdown finally between Sam and Richard Rider. I don't know why this book didn't sell. I don't know why this book is being canceled. This book is a Richard Rider book. This is what people wanted. This is what people wanted. This is what the internet was like. Oh, give us Richard Rider back. We want Richard Rider back. We want Richard Rider back. They brought Richard Rider back in a natural and understanding way that he can be brought back into the universe. And nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. Everybody bitches about what Marvel does, and when they give you fan service and they give you a good story, a nice compelling story like this has been, you don't buy it. You don't buy it. So yeah, people hate on Marvel, but you know what? You're not buying the books that are good. You're not. You're saying, oh, I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. And you're not checking out the books that are actually good, and you're not buying them, and they're being canceled. So what's selling is the stuff with a name. Deadpool selling. Cool. Oh, I don't like, all they do is put out Deadpool books. Well, Deadpool's what sells. Okay? They put out more books like this if you bought them. Okay? That's all there is to it. Check things out. Read new number ones. Find things that you like. This Nova book has been really good, and I'm sad to see it going away. Black Bolt number 1. All right, I've been really disappointed in the Inhumans so far and Royals. I want to see what happens with Black Bolt, so I picked this up. And the art is amazing, and the story is a little confusing. And I don't know if I care. So I might pick up issue number 2, and I might not. But it's a really pretty book, and flip through it at least. Spider-Man Deadpool number 17. I have not had a chance to read this yet, but this book never disappoints. It's Spider-Man. It's Deadpool. It is what it's advertised to be. So I think you should check it out if you like Spider-Man. And I think you should check it out if you like Deadpool. And if you don't like Spider-Man and you don't like Deadpool, you're not going to like this book. And I don't know why you thought you would. Jean Grey number 1. Now, Dennis Hopeless has given Jean Grey an ugly haircut and set her out on her own in this book. We get some action where she's fighting the Wrecking Crew, and she's basically running roughshod over them because they're the Wrecking Crew and she's Jean Grey. At the end, we get the return of the Phoenix. It's coming. Okay? I didn't like this book, but I'll tell you what, I am buying issue number 2 because the preview of the cover has Quentin Quire on it, and that's a way to get me interested in a book. So I'll be buying issue number 2, even though issue number 1 did nothing for me. What an awful haircut. Awful haircut. Like, come on, man. One of Jean's trademarks is her hair. Yeah, that it's red, but like she's had the pixie cut before, and that looks good. She had like the long flowing hair. She had the big ponytail. Always good hair, and this is bad hair. Bad hair, man. Got some more X-Men with X-Men Gold number 3. You know, controversy be damned, this has been a solid title thus far, and this is probably the final issue of Saev's art. I believe issue number 4 will not feature his art. I think 2 and 3 were already at the printer when they figured out the issue with 1. And as far as that goes, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the art. I thought it was pretty good. I think as far as the writing, the story has been solid, if derivative. But you're going to get that kind of reaction, I guess, with a back-to-basics story. You walk the line between homage and derivative. And I think that Rebirth has had some of the same issues for me as well. But I think X-Men Gold is solid, and I'm going to keep enjoying it moving forward. All New Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, written by Jerry Duggan, is a fantastic take on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I went into this issue thinking that I was not going to care for it. Why, you might ask? Because of all the things that have changed in Marvel over the years. The Captain America title, Riri Williams as Iron Man, Lady Thor. The only thing that has bothered me at all is this right here, is Baby Groot. Baby Groot. You know, I saw the movie and it was great. And Baby Groot is really funny. But I want Groot in my comic. I want Groot in my Guardians of the Galaxy comic. But the cool thing about this is, even though this story is about the Grandmaster and taking the Guardians back to their roots of smash and grab jobs in outer space, you know, I think that the greatest thing they've done is pose the question at the end, why isn't Groot growing back? And the teaser is really eerie, and I hope that we're getting something really cool coming out of it. Secret Empire number 1. This book is everything that a comic book event should be. It's beautifully rendered by Steve McNiven. It's absolutely awesome. This takes place a significant amount of time after the events of Secret Empire 0, where Hydra already has control of America. We don't know how far Hydra's reach goes around the world, but as far as the US, Hydra is in control. We see the way that school children are taught in this world, the way that Inhumans are treated. We get a good look at the Resistance. But more importantly, we go deeper into the psyche of this twisted version of Steve Rogers. It's exciting to see the conflict in his character as he crosses these lines that should not be crossed, as he does these things that he cannot come back from. There is a fantastic character death in this book that hurts. It kind of hurts. And that is great. I love the fact that this book is making people so salty. It's fantastically written. It's wonderfully set up. And it is one of the greatest events from Marvel Comics that I've ever read. This is better than Civil War. It's way better than Civil War 2. It's better than Secret Invasion. This is good stuff. Hey man, I like toys too. I picked up this Ultimate Spider-Man 2-pack Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends figure. You got Spider-Man in there with some interchangeable hands and the Vulture. Look at the wingspan on that dude. Can't wait to get this open and check it out. I do have that Ultimate Spider-Man. It's the exact same mold as from the Space Knight Venom wave, but excited to have that Vulture. I picked up an insane amount of back issues this week again. Big free comic book day sale. So I'm probably going to do a separate video and look at some of those if I have some time, but I haven't had time to do any of that lately, guys. I've been work all day long as I sing my working song. But more shifts, more books, so that's a good thing. I should be sending out some packages later today, so if I owe you some things, be sure to be on the lookout for those coming to your door very shortly. That's it for this face-to-face video, you guys, so make sure that you're out there collecting what you love, sharing what you find. I'm Drew Minshew, and I'll see you next time.